everyone, in this short video I'm wanting to show you how to do this cable stitch. Now usually your cables are done a little closer, but I'm busy making this little baby sweater from the top down, and it's a pattern that I'm selling on Craftsy. That's why I don't have it up on YouTube. But if you did buy the pattern, I'm wanting to show you how to actually make these cables. So I'm going to go ahead and show you, but if you haven't bought the pattern, it's easy for you to see how to do these cables as well in a different project that you're making. If you did buy the pattern, you'll see this is what your garment should be looking like now. And you'll see over here we did your post stitches just for this part over here when we went around our little top part here and our sleeves. That's why it should be looking like this. And then we went to regular double crochets here, whereas here we were working with our post stitches. But anyway, if you're just watching this video to see how to do the cables, I'm going to go ahead and show you. Alright, so if you're going to make a cable like this, the first thing you'll need to know is how to do a front post and a back post stitch. Now you can make it in trebles or in doubles. For this cable we're doing it in trebles. The other stitches are all doubles. Now this is your double crochet, and this is the post of the double crochet. This is the post over here. It's called the post. So to do a back post, you would wrap your yarn around. I'm doing a treble, so twice. You have to have your hook in the back of your work, and you come behind the stitch and push the post back. So the post is in the back, and then you do your stitch as per normal. Okay, whoops. So wrap your yarn around, make sure you're in the back of your work, bring your hook up to be from under your work over here, push that post to the back, and that's a back post, and then you just do your stitch as normal. Okay, so at the back of the work, come from the back, and that's the post we're going around. Push it to the back and then do your work. That's your back post, and that's one of the first things that you'll need to know. Now to do the front post, you're just doing it the opposite way. Instead of coming in from the back, so to do the front post, this is the slightly easier one. You put your hook in the front and you come this way, so your post is pushed forward, and then you work as normal. You're just working on the post of your double crochet or whatever stitch is here. So for the front, hook in the front, go into that same space and push this forward. Okay, that's your front. So let me show you between the two. There's your post. For the back one, hook is in the back, coming to this space from the back, and then go around, go into the next space. So you're going from this space to this space. So for the back post, come in the back, go into the next space like that. For the front, hook in the front, come into the same space but from the front, and go into the next space, pushing this forward. Okay, so that's your front post, and this is your back post. Okay, so as long as you know that, you'll be able to do these two. You'll be able to do your cable stitch. So as long as you know your front and back post, you can do a cable stitch, and I will show you how to do that. Now, when you're crocheting, regardless of what you're crocheting, just some quick little things. You're always starting with a chain 3. Well, you don't have to. I mean, you can start with a chain 2. There are different ways of starting, but generally you're going to start with your chain 3. Then you have to decide, and you want to keep this, what I'm showing you now, you want to keep this throughout the pattern that you're doing. If you start your chain 3 there, you can go into this first chain space. Okay, so if you go into this first chain space, your chain 3 counts as 1. That would be number 2, number 3, and number 4. When you get to the end of your row, if you start in this very first one, the end of your row, you would go into this last chain space over here, because when you have your stitches, you can see here they offset each other. So in other words, this double crochet is actually considered this one. This one is considered that one, if you understand what I mean. Okay, so if you start in that very first chain space, you would end in this last one. If you go ahead and you do your chain 3 and you don't start in this first one and you go into this one over here, that would be number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 would end over here. Whereas if you went in the first one, number 4 would end over here. Nothing wrong with either one. It depends on what you want to do. If you end with it over here, when you come to the end, you would end off with 1 in here, but then you still have to do 1 more in this chain 3. That's the only difference. Okay, so for this pattern, I've worked mine working in this first one. Okay, so what I did was chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I work in my first one. As I said, the only difference, if you don't work in the first one and you work here, you're going to end working in here or here. If I work in this one, I'm going to end over here. If I work in this one, I'm going to end in the one just before the cable. I'll show you how you actually do this cable over here. Now, that's number 1. As I said, I worked in the very first space here, number 2. This cable consists of 4 double crochets and my cable consists of 4 stitches. Okay, 4 doubles, 4 stitches, 4 doubles, 4 stitches, and we end with 4 doubles. This is how you would do your cable. Do your 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and number 4. Okay, now as I said, if you skipped that first one, you would end over here, which is fine. Here are my 4 cable stitches. This is what you want to know. These are the 4 stitches you're working with, so it doesn't matter if you come in here. Alright, and then I'll show you after your cable the difference with where you're putting your double crochets, but you must have 4 doubles and 4 post stitches. Now, these post stitches are worked in trebles. Your cable is worked in trebles, whereas these are in doubles. Okay, so to work your cable, you're going to be working in this one first. So you go into the 3rd one, into the 4th one, then you're coming back and you're going into this one, number 1, and then into number 2. Okay, so you make a treble, skip over those 2, go into number 3, and you're coming in this way of your post of your treble. This is your front post that we're doing now. It comes in here and you do your treble. Okay, yarn around twice, come into number 4, come this way. You're just coming under that post. Number 2. Now, to get to the other 2, you want to pull your work apart. Now, don't go into your double that's over here. Be very careful. These are my 2 posts over here that I want. Okay, there's my 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 doubles. There they are. You're going to go into this, not that one, this one first. So bring your hook around and come into here. And then do 2, 2, and 2. Wrap your yarn around. Now you're going to find that one there, number 2, and come behind it. Okay. Right, and that's the first. Your cable is consisting of 2 rows. 2 rows or 2 rounds. For us, it's 2 rows. Okay, now it's finished. Now, because I started in this first one, I'm going to be starting right after my cable over here with number 1. Okay, so I'm going into there, number 1. If you didn't, you would probably start in this one, because you're either going to end off doing a double just before your cable, or you're going to do it just after. If you did the one just before, you would skip that one and you would go in here. I started in the first one, I'm going to come in here first. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's 4 doubles. As long as you have your 4 doubles and your 4 here, you're good. You don't want to put 5 in here. See, now if I didn't start in that first one, I'd have to put my one right here before the cables. So you take your pick. You're either going to go in the one before, or you're going to go in the one after for your fourth double or for your first double. Okay, alright, so once again, yarn over twice. We're going to go into number 3 first, this way, front post treble, number 4, and then number 1, not that one, this one first, number 1, and then, whoops, number 2. Okay, and that's it for your first row. First row of your cable, that's what you do. Then I'm going in here because I need 4 doubles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. One more time, yarn over twice. This one, come under. Just like that. That's 1, 2, that first one. There's the second one. That's number 1, and then number 2, yeah. But this is actually number 4 in our cable. Okay, and then your doubles again. So that's what you do to do your first row of a cable. And obviously it depends on your pattern, whether you have 2 in here, only 1 double. You might not even have any doubles in between. They might just be doing cables straight next to each other. It depends, but that's how we're doing it. So work your way here. When I get to the end, I'll work this last part. Alright, so I'm coming to my last cable, and don't get confused with where your cable is and where your double crochets are. Just spread it out if you need to. You can see there, you can see these are the 4 for my cable, and these are the doubles in between. Those are the 4 for the cable. So just be careful, you don't want to use the wrong stitch. And then I'm just going to do this cable. And then the last one over there. Okay, now finishing, I'll start in this one just after the cable. That's number 1, number 2, number 3, and then number 4 would get done in this last space over here. That's number 4. Now I have my 4, but if you didn't start in this space over here, this very first one, you would still have 1 more to do, and that's because you would go into the top of your chain 3. You would put 1 more in the top of this chain 3. You just have to catch it in there and do that one there. Okay, obviously I don't need to do that, but that's what you would do for your last stitch. Okay, and that's in all your crocheting. Depending on where you start with your double crochet, depends on where you end with it on your garment or whatever you're making. Alright, that's the first row. Now you've got to do the back part of this cable. And you do that with a back post treble. Okay, so once again we do the same thing. We chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn around, and stick to what you were doing. If you were working in the first one like I am, stick to that. You don't want to swap and change. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you can see your cable is looking like this. This is a little harder than the front post one, because you're working in these cables and you're coming from the back of your stitch. With the front post you came this way. With the back post you're coming from behind your work. Okay, you've got your 2, you can see here, you've got these 2 here, and you've got 2 in the back. So you got your 4 stitches here. Spread it out. 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. Spread your work out. There are your 4 cable stitches. 2 in the front and 2 in the back. We start with these 2 in the back. You're first going to do this one, and then you're going to do that one. Okay, so that's very important. Let me show you. Wrap around twice, come in here and get just the one. Spread them out so you can actually see them. That's the first one. Come in from the back, just go with that one's post and work it. Okay, yarn over twice. Now you're coming in to get the second one. That's my second one here. That's the second post. Okay, that was the first one there. That's the second one. You go behind it and you grab it. Okay, then you've got these two, and you're going to go into this one first, that one, and then this one coming in from the back. As I said, this is a little trickier, but they need to be in order, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, now you've got all your cables unraveled, and then go into your first space over here, or if you didn't do that, you'd go in the second. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now we're going to unravel these. Okay, so you find there the 4, 1, 2, there the back 2. So go into the back 2 and you're using them in order. This one here first. First the first one, and then the second one. That's my second one over there. Okay, coming through the back, grab this front one and the next one, like that. So the bottom line is you need to know how to do a front and back post. Yeah, and that's all that you need to do for this cable, and that's how you do a cable. Very easy. It's not hard once you know how to do a front and back post. So as I say, the first one, and it is a little tricky to grab it, but there's that first one. Grab that one. Then we grab the second one. Come behind this one first. And the last one. And then you just work to the end with your doubles, and then you would finish the same way. 1 in here, 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And that's how you do a cable. Twisting it and untwisting. That's your real basic cable, but that's how you would that's how you would make a cable. So if you do want this pattern, it's on Craftsy. There'll be a link in the info box at the bottom if you are wanting this pattern. But yeah, that's how you do a cable. So yeah, I hope to see you in my next lesson. Thanks guys, bye.